Hey everyone, welcome to our session. We'll start in some time. We'll begin shortly. Let everyone join and listen to it.
A very pleasant good evening to one and all. Thank you very much for joining us and being with us today. I'm very grateful to welcome you all in this second event of Tech Boss Lady, which is under the Women Tech Makers event. I feel very privileged to open this event with all the GDSC clubs, which we did collaboration with the Gokhale Engineering College, and we would like to um, invite and welcome to all the other collaborative GDSC teams, GDSC Kalindi, GDSC Miranda House, GDSC AISSMS, University of RGPV, and GDSC ITER Bhubaneswar. After the first successful event of Women Tech Maker, now we are going forward to the second event with our speaker who is very successful as a woman and in her field as well. I know we all are excited to listen her. So I will call Pranjal to introduce her and to elaborate our event.
Hello
Let's get started.
everyone, how are you guys? I hope everyone is doing great and let's cheer up. It's a second event of Tech Boss Lady has to. I think we should cheer up and let our evening be full of learning and growth. So let's talk something about WTM first and then we'll move forward with the speaker's introduction. So what is WTM? Women Tech Makers Domain. WTM domain aims for building a community where all women can thrive in tech. At WTM, we strongly intend to maximize our female community and create awareness among all the females out there through organizing collaborative events as well as creating a space for them to network with one another. Today's event is one such event where we can network with each other. It is a chance to grow. Also, our speaker Aishwarya, who is in the stream right now, is is really a wonderful woman who has 22K followers on LinkedIn. So today's event It all revolves around females who have marked their a special identity and have paved a successful path for themselves. So I would take a chance to introduce one such woman in tech, as I said prior, who's Aishwarya Mahapatra. So talking about Aishwarya Mahapatra is currently a final year student pursuing BTech in computer science. She's a brilliant student and she loves web development and finds herself more into problem solving. Talking about her experience as a student till now, she interned at Goldman Sachs as a summer analyst in her third year. Right now, she is working diligently as a member technical intern at DE Shaw India, as well as a mentee at Microsoft Engage 2021. Being a Hackerrank certified intermediate problem solver, she is still passionate about exploring her field every single day. Not only this, but she has also worked for various startups and brands as a content writer, web content curator, and as a technical writer. Well, already been into sharing her knowledge and experience through her posts on LinkedIn, as she will show in further session, as well as her YouTube channel. You may also find Aishwarya talking about her opinions and views on political issues somewhere around the corner in this world and always up for a long discussion. So I'll hand over it to Aishwarya. Let's have a beautiful evening full of growth and fun. Continue, Aishwarya.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Pranjal, for such a warm welcome. Thanks a lot, everyone. So, yeah, I think Pranjal has introduced me enough. She has, in fact, introduced a lot about me. So, I don't think I need to introduce anything else about me. So, directly, let's start with the presentation and all the topics that we're going to discuss today. So, who's going to present? Shall I present my screen?
Yes, Aishwarya, you present.
Just a second. I'll be back in a second.
No problem.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. So I'll share my screen, okay? Uh, yeah, okay. We can start from here, maybe. So is it visible, Pranjal? You can see.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right. So as Pranjal has already introduced about myself, I'll just quickly go through the things that I've actually done. So yeah, I'm in my final year at LNMIT Jaipur, and I did an internship at Goldman Sachs in the summers of 2021. And currently, I'm doing a 6 month internship with DSHO and will be soon joining DSHO as a full time in July. Yeah. So you can definitely connect with me on LinkedIn, YouTube. I have a YouTube channel and I try to help the community as much as possible with my videos, and Twitter as well. So, what is the agenda for today's event, right? So, we will be majorly discussing about first how to start preparing for internship, and then we will also be talking about how to leverage LinkedIn to get better opportunities. We will also be taking some questions at the end of the session, so you can feel free to put in your questions, and later on I'll be answering all those questions, right? Okay. So now let's break, the preparation for internships into three parts, right? Because in general, when we are talking about internships, I am here talking about summer internships, right? And you do summer internships after third year. So that's why I have divided this into first year, second year, and third year. So how should you start preparing for internship for, say, if you're in first year, if you're in second year, or if you're in third year? All right. So but before going ahead, this is a very important question, a very frequently asked question. I would say a lot of students are confused about, is competitive programming necessary? Because many of them think that competitive programming is important, but we don't like competitive programming. So, what to do? And then they get confused and demotivated and whatnot, and they just, stop doing questions or stop continuing that their coding journey midway. So that's not something we should do. First, let's understand, is competitive programming really necessary or not? And as I've already written, competitive programming is not at all necessary. Okay. So I'll tell you why. Because most of the companies, okay, I would say 90 to 95% of companies don't really ask competitive programming questions in their interviews. And as far as the online assessment is concerned, again, 90 to 95% of companies don't ask CP level of questions in their online assessment. Okay, that's something you need to remember. If you, for say, you have to go with any single platform, maybe Geeks for Geeks or LeetCode, anything will do. Okay, and if you're really good enough with problem solving in those platforms, if you're regularly attempting the contest and all that, you will be good to go with the online assessment as well as the interviews, right? But if you do CP, right, you are definitely you definitely have an edge over others, right? Because it increases your problem solving skills for sure. And secondly, for say somehow there is an interviewer who wants to ask you a difficult question and he puts a CP question in front of you. So if you are someone who does CP, you will be able to do the question, right? But then it's a very, I would say, it's a very rare chance that you are going to face such an interviewer in an interview, right? So yeah, that's the thing. Also, if you are into CP, at some point before going for the interviews, you will have to come back to platforms like LeetCode or Geeks for Geeks, right? You cannot just completely rely upon competitive programming, uh, for interviews, because the interview questions are a little bit different than competitive programming. So I hope it's now clear that competitive programming is not a necessity, but you can definitely do if you enjoy, CP. Okay, now let's go to discussing about what should you do if you are a first year student and how should you basically prepare yourself, right? I mean, you a lot of students start early, and if you're in first year, definitely kudos to you because you started early. First of all, this remains the same for every single year of student. No need to stress much. Okay, this is not the end of life. This is, an internship or a placement is not the end of life. So never take tension. Never worry about, things that whether I'm going to get an internship or a placement or not. So never actually stress a lot. Then since you're in first year, so you actually have a lot of time. Okay, um because in general the internships come in the third year of college, so you have a lot of time. So you can start with doing at least one question per day, maybe one question, two question, three question. But the more important thing is not the number of questions actually when you're in first year. The more important thing is to be consistent. So I'll tell you what happened with, my personal experience. So I've seen a lot of students who are in their, who like during my time, there were a lot of students who were in their first year, and they were like really pro in programming at that point of time itself because they were solving a lot of questions, doing code forces, code chef, and whatnot. But after a few months, that was just the energy during the initial time of the first year. But then, since it's the first year, everyone gets distracted, right? So they got distracted and they just stopped doing questions midway. And that's when there was a big gap between, doing the questions. There was a big gap for them. And when they wanted to come back to the game of, coding, they couldn't, because obviously it's been so long that they left coding altogether. So that's something you shouldn't do, right? Your goal should definitely be solving questions, but more importantly, to showing up for coding, right? Be consistent. Because you are in first year, no need to stress much. One question per day will also do your work, but be consistent. Don't leave it in between, right? Then talking about the platforms that you can use. So I would suggest, when you are initially getting into coding, don't directly go for competitive programming because it is very alluring, definitely. But if you're very new to coding, competitive programming may intimidate you. So what you can do is you can initially start with Geeks or LeetCode, whatever platform suits you, and start with only easy questions, right? Because you are just starting off, right? And always do questions topic wise. So you took like selected a topic, maybe binary search or anything like binary search, array, or graph, anything, and you did just easy questions in those topics, right? And once you become comfortable with easy questions, then you can start picking up easy questions randomly. So what I mean to say is, don't go just once you become comfortable with the easy questions, no need to directly jump to the medium questions, right? Because remember, what were you doing? You were solving the questions topic wise, right? And whenever we are solving any question topic wise, we already have this thing in mind. Okay, this question belongs to this topic, right? So somehow your mind is not being trained towards actually thinking at the first place that which data structure or which algorithm should be applied on this question. So you have to train your mind in that direction as well. So for that, what you should do is you should now randomly pick questions without any topic tag and do just the easy questions. And once you're comfortable with this whole process, you can gradually go towards, scale up your level of questions. You can go to medium, and then if you're really good, medium, mastering the medium level questions is not an easy task. So it is going to take time to master that medium level questions. And once you have actually mastered, then you can think of going towards hard problems. But in most of the assessments as well as interviews, hard questions are not asked to that extent. Yeah, but it's always good to have practice of hard questions as well, because obviously you are in your first year, you have a lot of time to learn things. So yeah, also since you're in first year, I would also suggest you to try your hands on CP. But once your basics are clear from Geeks for Geeks or Lead Code, so what you have to do is first do this whole process for easy questions. That is, do the topic wise questions for easy questions, and then later on random questions for easy. And then once your basics are clear, right, you can try your hands on CP. Okay. Next thing is definitely attend contest regularly. Yeah, because you are in your first year, you have a lot of time, right? So make sure that you're giving at least one contest every week. Okay. And then you have to start preparing CS fundamentals. So what happens is that when you're in first year, you may have not covered a lot of subjects, right? Because that's not in your academics still yet. So what you can do is, maybe you can watch some videos from Gate Smashers as well as Knowledge Gate. So these playlists, these channels playlist are the best, I personally feel. I have prepared from it. And you can slowly but steadily start preparing CS fundamentals from there itself. Even if it hasn't come in academics, you will be able to understand each and everything from these playlists itself. And you can do that every weekend, yeah, according to your convenience. So that's a whole plan I would give for the students who are in their first year and who want to start off with their preparation for internships, right? Now, let's go towards the students who are in a second year. They haven't done any coding yet, right? They are just starting off right now. Okay. They have no coding background. And this is exactly what happened with me. And I actually started my coding in fourth semester, which is the later half of second year. So it's completely fine. Second year is also not very late for you to start preparing for internships. But now you have to up your game, right? You have to start working a little bit harder because you have less time, right? But yeah, one thing remains the same. No need to stress much. Everything is going to be fine. Second point goes like, do at least 3 to 4 questions. So earlier I suggested for the first year to do just one question every day. But now since you are in your second year, you have to do 3 4 questions per day, because you know that as soon as third year arrives, internships will also start to arrive, right? So it completely depends upon the time of second year you are in. If you're in the first half of second year, maybe you can like scale the number of questions a little down. But if you're in the later half of your second year, you should be scaling this number of questions up. Okay. But again, you have to be consistent, because you know that you are already a little late. I won't say it's very late, but you have less time, right? So you have to just keep be consistent basically. Once again, you can go with Geeks for Geeks initially. So what I generally suggest is, Lead Code is my favorite. Lead Code is my favorite platform. And if you you do questions on Lead Code religiously, you can crack any company, even Google. So a couple of years ago, I saw that only those students who were doing competitive programming were getting into Google. But recently, Google has started hiring a lot. And I've seen a lot of students getting into Google by just and just doing lead code. So lead code is a gem, to be honest, right? So you can eventually, like, you can, if you want to start with lead code also, you can start with lead code. It's not a problem, right? You can start with the easy question and eventually you can go to medium questions. But if you want, if you feel like, everyone is talking about Geeks for Geeks, so maybe Geeks for Geeks is good for the new beginners, so you can start with Geeks for Geeks. But eventually I want you to go to lead code, because lead code, as I said, is a gem. Then again, here I would say the same strategy. Start to do questions topic wise, and this time what you should be doing, because you're in second year and you don't have much time, right? So what you should be doing is, for say you chose a topic, binary tree. Okay, now there are questions of three difficulty levels: easy, medium, hard. All right. So uh, you chose that binary tree, and initially you will be doing easy questions, and then just after that, once you're comfortable, do medium questions as well. Okay, so I know for every topic it's going to take some time, but at least you are completely confident over that one particular topic, that since you have covered both easy and medium questions of it, right? And then you can go on to the next topic. Now, once you are comfortable, look, it's going to take you some time to cover all the topics, right? So it's completely fine that if you, for say, there are 20 topics in total, right? So maybe you cover 10 topics first, right? And then what you do is you start picking uh, out of those 10 topics, you can start picking questions randomly just for those 10 topics. And simultaneously, you can continue with the other 10 topics. Getting my point? So it won't be very, what we call it, monotonous for you, like always doing topic wise question. You can always take random questions as well. So that's the idea I would give. But you know what? At the end of the day, you will have to go with your own routine. You have to write your own routine, whatever suits you. So it is something that I followed, but it's not necessary that it's going to work for you. But still, the idea that I'm giving, you can definitely take a reference from this particular idea and then uh, devise your own strategy, right? One thing is very important, again, attending the contests regularly. And sometimes what happens is we are busy at that particular time, so we miss the contest. In that case, what you can do is you can go for virtual contests, right? It is very important. So a lot of platforms these days have all these features of virtual contests, and it's the best way to attend the missed contest. So you can definitely go for virtual contest. And what you can do is, since now you're in second year and you're going to face the internship interviews really soon, so start giving mock interviews. You can think of giving mock interviews once in a week or once in 2 weeks, whatever suits you. And there are a lot of platforms that you can basically experiment with. InterviewBit, Pramp, and LeetCode also has recently added its mock interview feature, so you can go with that as well. So I hope this particular idea is clear. Now let's talk about someone who hasn't started doing coding till yet, but he or she still wants to crack, an internship. So what actually happens is, let me tell you, are living in a myth. And what is that myth? So there are two semesters in third year. First is the fifth semester, and then is the sixth semester. So what I had this myth in my mind that most of the companies actually recruit in fifth semester itself. So if I haven't grabbed any internship in fifth semester, I don't have any chance left with me to grab any internship anymore, right? But what I realized is a lot of companies actually start hiring, for internships in sixth semester. So you're going to face a lot of opportunities in sixth semester as well, right? So you don't need to stress much. You have a lot of time. You still have a lot of opportunities coming for you, even if you're starting your preparation in your third year itself, right? But now, as I said, since you're late for internships or for applying for internships, or basically preparing for internship, you have to up your game. Now do at least 7 to 8 questions per day and be consistent, as always, as I said, right? But yes, you have to do at least 7 to 8 questions per day. Similarly, the second thing is Geeks for Geeks. You can go initially with Geeks for Geeks and eventually switch to Lead Code. But since you know what, you are a little late and you have to up your game, so I would say start from Lead Code itself and stay on Lead Code till the end. Okay, Lead Code is the best platform, so go with Lead Code only. Again, the same question, same process repeats. Do questions topic wise, both easy and medium. Do hard only when you're comfortable with easy and medium. No need to stress that, you know what, I cannot do hard questions. That's completely fine, because first you need to make yourself comfortable with easy and medium. Okay. Once you become comfortable, pick up questions randomly without any topic tag. This is also one of the process that remains same. Attend contests regularly, and in case you miss it, go for virtual contests. And now you have to continuously give mock interviews, because you never know when that one interview call is coming your way, and you don't want to miss that opportunity. Once you receive an interview call, you have to crack it, and you have to be prepared for it anyhow. And for that, start giving mock interviews, right, as much as possible, at least once every week. Okay, on platforms like InterviewBit, Pramp, or LeetCode. And now you also have to prepare your CS fundamentals side by side, right? Now, since you are in your third year now, most of the CS fundamental subjects, I suppose, have already been covered in your academics, right? So you should be covering those CS fundamentals as yet. So how will you do it? Now, don't wait for the weekends to complete your CS fundamentals, because on weekends also you cannot leave doing coding. So you have to code every day. But then how are you going to manage your CS fundamentals? For that, what you can do is, in your routine, you can add 1 hour or 1.5 hour, whatever suits you, to study CS fundamental. So basically, what you are doing is you are coding as well as you are studying CS fundamentals simultaneously. So you're preparing both of the things. So now you have to devise your routine in such a manner in which you are preparing yourself as a whole, right? And yeah, since you are a little late, no need to try your hands on CP, because if you haven't started CP yet, you haven't tried CP yet ever in your life. So I would say don't go for CP, right? It's very important, because CP is not necessary anyway. So I hope that this particular strategy and the overview of how your routine can be is clear. And yeah, if you have any questions, we will discuss that later, right? Okay. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that while you're doing your preparations, okay, a lot of things we generally miss during our preparations. And when the interview comes, okay, we think that we are completely prepared, but then there are small, slight things that they ask during the interviews. And these basically are not particularly related to coding questions, but more often than not, they are related to the theoretical questions, right? And these small theoretical questions, we think that we are prepared, but we just mess up during the interview, so you don't want to do it, right? So what I would suggest is, for say, as I said, I suggested that for every while doing your preparation, while starting your preparation, you should be doing the questions topic wise. For say you went with a binary tree or graph or something, right? So what you should be doing is, before starting that topic, go on the net, um, on YouTube, on Google, anywhere, and study about this complete data structure, this algorithm, the time complexity, the space complexity. Is there like some, whatever the thing, how the particular data structure is working internally, everything. And once you know about enough theory, you've read enough theory of this particular data structure and algorithm, you can then start doing your um questions. Because what happens is, generally during the interviews, they also ask something related to the theory of the data structure and algorithm. They might ask you, okay, tell me what is your favorite data structure. Then you'll say, it's trees. Then instead of directly asking a question on trees, they'll ask something around the theory of trees, right? So you should know that. Secondly, application. So whatever data structure or algorithm you are studying, you should know the real life applications of that particular data structure or algorithm. That is definitely expected from you, because if you are solving a problem on data structure or algorithm, and you don't know what's its application in the real life, that doesn't make any sense. So you should know the real life applications of every data structure and algorithm. Now, prepare CS fundamentals in depth and not just the definitions of terms, because we generally don't give much priority to CS fundamentals, because we think it's anyway theory, and it's just the definitions and all. No one will ask in depth. But let me tell you, in D Shaw, because I personally have experienced it. And also, I earlier was um like I also earlier interviewed for an internship position at a company named Innovation, which is basically a startup. and a recently turned unicorn. So their interview actually consisted of just CS fundamentals and my projects. No coding questions, because according to them, they have already assessed my coding skills during the online assessment. And similarly, talking about D-Show stresses a lot upon CS fundamentals. So you should know CS fundamentals in depth and not just definitions of terms, right? And for that, I always suggest people to go with the playlist of Gate Smashers and Knowledge Gate, right? Yeah, so I have discussed this point as well. Know the internal workings of data structure. Let's take an example. So what happens is we know there is heap, okay, max heap, min heap. But internally, how the heaps are working, how a max heap is working, how heap is working, there are a lot of internal algorithms that are associated with it. So you should know how this particular thing works, right? So that is something. And for say, you are using C++, and there are these inbuilt data structures like uh, for heap we use priority queue, right? So you should know how internally it works in C++, right? This data structure works in C++, so you should know this, because there is a chance they will ask you, right? Also always remember one thing, to look at alternate solutions with better time or space complexity. So what I mean from this is, for say we are solving a question on lead code and it got accepted, right? So what we do is we immediately go to the next question without staying that question for one more second, right? That's very wrong, because what we wrote, somehow it got accepted, but not necessarily that's the correct solution, right? And even if it's a correct solution, there's a better solution that exists. So you should always keep this thing in mind, that go to no need to go to the next question immediately. Just stay on that question for some time, analyze if there's better time or space complexity, or only then go to the next solution or next question. All right. So these are things to keep in mind while your preparation. Now let's discuss about the mistakes to avoid. So as a coder, we do a lot of mistakes, right? When we are starting our coding journey, we do a lot of mistakes. And um, the reason of someone getting an internship or a placement, or someone not getting an internship or placement, is the difference between these mistakes. Someone did these mistakes, someone didn't. So let's discuss what are the mistakes. First mistake is giving up and leaving in between. So I know that a lot of students want to start coding. They just want to grab that one internship. They want to grab that offer at a big company, but somehow they lose motivation to keep coding, right? Why it happens? Because once they start coding, they feel like, you know what, I cannot form the logic of it, I cannot write the code, I cannot understand the question, it's very complex. They leave in between, right? They give up, they leave in between. Again, some friends of theirs get an internship or placement, and then they start thinking, oh shit, I should have started coding, I should have continued it. So let me tell you that this happens with every single person. It happened with me a lot of time. So I started coding honestly in 2020 January, and I got an internship in April of 2021. Okay, so it was like 1.5 years after which I start grabbed an internship. And honestly, I was not preparing. I was preparing very rigorously, because I wanted to grab the offer. I was doing 7, 8 questions every day, but I still didn't, grab an offer. And I was very demotivated. But you know what? This happens with everyone. As I said, it happened with me. It happens with everyone. It happened with my friends who started doing questions a lot earlier than me, but they left in between. And that's the reason where, I and their offers has a difference, right? So never give up. Whatever happens, you should know that this happens with everyone. It's not just me alone. So no, don't give up. Simply comparing yourself with others is a very bad habit. What happens is someone is doing coding for like very long time, and we just started off, and we are comparing our performance with theirs. And this is exactly what happens, right? We don't know how that person is preparing, right? And maybe that person just that solution to the question just clicked for that person and didn't for us. So it doesn't mean that we are any less than that person. We keep comparing ourselves with others, but I would suggest that stop comparing yourself with others and instead compare with your performance. I know it's a very cliche advice, but this is something which really works very good. So what you can do is today you gave a contest, and out of 4 questions you were able to solve just 2 questions, and that's completely fine. In the next contest as well, you were able to solve only 2 questions, but how you can compare is, was I able to do the question in less time, or did I write a better code? So you can analyze yourself in this way and stop comparing with others, because that's not going to benefit you in any way. Next mistake we do is not setting time while solving questions. This is a very big problem. So contest actually gives us an environment, which which is very similar to an actual online assessment, but we are not giving contest every day. We are practicing questions. So what we can do is we can set time for every question. So what happens is, for say we started a question and we are stuck at that question for 1 hour, 2 hour, nothing is clicking in our head, and we are just stuck at that question, and that somewhere decreases your efficiency, and you are not able to solve your targeted 7 8 questions of the day, right? So what you should do is, instead of going for um solving a question for 1 2 hours, just set the time that, what I have to, this is a medium question, I can solve this question within like 30 40 minutes. Now if somehow I'm not able to solve the question in 30 40 minutes, I'll go and watch the solutions, and that's absolutely fine. I'll bookmark this particular question and come back to this after a week to revise this question. So this should be your thing. So set your time always. Second, I've already discussed this part, moving immediately to the next question. So don't move immediately to the next question. Just stay at that question, analyze if there's a better solution that exists. Okay, and for say you are doing questions on lead code, so you can go to discuss section, most votes solutions, and in that you can look at the top 1 2 solutions, and then look at the time and space complexity, and is it a better code? Okay. Not giving contests. Yeah, I've also discussed this. You should be giving contests regularly. And if you've missed any contest, go for the virtual ones. Then make a routine. So I have completely talked about how a first year, second year, and third year student should make his or her routine, right? So you should have a routine of yourself. If you target to do 3 4 questions a day, you should have that routine, that from this time to this time I'm going to solve the coding questions, and I'm going to, from this time to this time I'm going to study the CS fundamentals. The routine is very important, right? And absence of consistency. So we should be consistent, no matter, for say, if even if your targeted number of questions for 3 4 questions per day, but for some reason today you couldn't solve 3 4 questions, you were just able to do 1 question, right? Or maybe you just couldn't find time today, and you thought, okay, I'll not do question today, and I'll continue the question tomorrow. So that is something you shouldn't do. Even if you feel that I won't be able to do 3 4 questions today, at least I should be doing 1 questions, because if I leave in between, right, that is breaking my consistency. So you should never break that chain that you formed for so long, right? You have to do 1 question at least to maintain your consistency, and then once you are free with your other stuff, you can again um, go back to your normal 3 4 questions per day. Okay. So I think, yeah, that's all about how to start off with an internship. These are very simple tips, and you might have heard this from a lot of people. But at the end of the day, everything depends upon you, how you are going to follow, these tips, how you are going to devise your own routine, and how you are going to do everything, how you are going to train your mind to not compare yourself with others, and be consistent. And that's the only thing which is required to grab any internship, or for that matter a placement, right? So yeah, I think I'm done with this. So Pranjal, shall I start the next one, like about LinkedIn, or um,
Yeah,
shall we take the?
sure. We can take
Okay.
the questions at the end, if possible.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that was the first part of our agenda. And now the second part is how to leverage your LinkedIn to get better opportunities. So let me tell you, this particular agenda is completely different from the first part. So it's not like I am here not to just tell you how to leverage your LinkedIn for your technical profile, but also for any non-technical profile. I am going to talk just in general sense. Okay. So first, what I will be doing is I'll be taking you to my LinkedIn profile and will show you how to build first your own profile. Okay. So yeah, let me do that. So hopefully you all can see my profile, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So here what I've done is first of all the photo. Okay, the profile pic should be very professional. Um, it shouldn't be there is a difference between your Instagram photo, your Facebook photo, your Twitter photo. You should know that, right? The photo, just imagine this way: the photo, the kind of photo you would like to attach in your resume, exactly that kind of photo should be here, because this is your resume, in other words, right? So, and behind this I've actually have this banner, and this banner should represent the area that you are interested in. Like, for say, if you are a software engineer or someone, you can write, you can maybe you can present your banner in that way. You can, no need to create the banner yourself, I have created that using Canva. But you can maybe attach a photo, which, where if you're someone who is interested in writing, or if you're someone who's interested in public speaking, you have a photo of yours where you are speaking on a mic, you can definitely put that photo as a banner behind this, right? Now, this is the place which is the headline, and it tells a lot about you. And if you're someone, look, right now I have a few things, that I am a member technical staff, and then earlier I was at Goldman Sachs. But earlier I didn't have anything, right? So I was looking for opportunities myself. So maybe you can put up here, looking for internship opportunities or something. You can do that, right? And whatever suits you, and whatever defines you more, you can write those, everything in your title or headline. Then, yeah, so this is the featured part. Okay. So what you can do is, if you have any website, you can put that link to the website here. If you have your resume, okay, so you can put your resume here. But remember to remove the phone number from the resume, because obviously it is a public platform. So you don't want to expose your phone number. You can put the link to your GitHub repository over here, whatever suits you. And if you have any good post and you want to just feature it here, you can do that. And then we'll come to the about section. So it's very important to have an about section of yours. So I have a very funky and weird about section. I would say I've written a lot of things, but you don't need to have all of it. What you can do is you can just write what you want your recruiters to see in your profile in points. Yeah, just that. No need to fill it with everything, but you should have a about section of yours. That important, because that's important for an all-star profile on LinkedIn. You can write your experiences, whatever you have, no matter if it's technical or non-technical. To be honest, earlier when I didn't have any experience, I wrote all the previous experiences I had, even if it was a non-technical experience. So you can see this is a non-technical experience, media and marketing of my college fest. This is something different. I was a content writer, freelance content writer for a startup. I was an anchor of my public speaking club. So these are some things or some experiences which are completely non-technical, but I've still written it because um even if it's not relevant to a technical profile, you can write about yourself, because you don't have anything right now, right? You yourself are looking for internships, so you don't have anything, you're hunting for internships right now, but you have had some experiences in the past which maybe are not related to technical skills, but you can still portray that. Okay, and you can define each and everything what you did under that particular experience. Okay, you can do that as well. Um okay, then these are some of the licensing certificates. So a lot of students these days are doing courses, so you can put the courses links over here, the certificates over here. And I found this Hackerrank certifications to be really good way to get some certifications on your profile. All you have to do is just give a 1.5 hour test, and then if you pass it, it's not very difficult to pass, honestly. So if you pass it, you will be certified, a hacker rank certified medium problem solver or basic problem solver, whatever. Similarly, you can do such certifications and attach it over here, so it really looks good at your profile. Write about all the skills, and if you have any friends, ask them to endorse you, and you can endorse them back, right? So that is also a good thing. You can take recommendations from people you have worked with. You feel that this person can vouch for you, so definitely go and ask that person to give a recommendation for you. I've also written all the projects that I've done, and the descriptions of those projects, right? However small that project is, I've written it because it doesn't matter. All that matters is how much you know about the project. I always say this thing, doesn't matter even if a project is small or big. It shouldn't be very basic, of course, but it should be at least decent enough. You should know everything about the project, right? So write about the project, write about the description, link the GitHub, repository. And yeah, I think that should do the thing. Honors and awards, whatever you have achieved so far, again, I would say, irrespective of the technical skills, you can technical achievement or not, you can write all of them. So first of all, this is how you should be working with your profile, right? This is how you should be building your profile completely, so that it looks professional at the first glance, and whoever visits your profile is impressed. Now let's discuss about what after this. Once you have actually built your profile, what after this? Okay. So first of all, this these lines, so these tips are particularly for the first and second year students. For third year, the I would suggest a few things differently. Okay, so let's first discuss about the first and second year. So what happens is, when you are in first and second year, most of the big companies don't give internships to the first and second year, but you can still find a lot of good opportunities if you are active enough on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is the best place, no matter what, for opportunities. So what you can do is, you need to select a niche for, say, if you are someone into coding, you want to pursue your career as a software engineer. So that is your niche, okay? And if you're someone who is, for say, right now in writing, want to explore content writing, freelancing a lot, so that's your niche. So you have to select a niche. Second is, you have to follow the people who are related to that particular niche, right? So for say, if you want to become a software engineer, start following the people who are software engineers and who are very much active on LinkedIn. Similarly, if you're a content writer or if you're a freelancer, right, you should be following someone who is a freelancer or a content writer and is active on LinkedIn, okay? Because you will be getting a lot of insights through their posts. Then what you should do is, you should always be doing some meaningful comments initially. Before starting to post anything, you should be doing some meaningful comments on others' post. Read their post, whatever feel like, you start doing meaningful comments, right? Every day do 5 to 6 comments, and slowly and gradually your online presence will increase. People will start to know you. You'll start networking. Yeah, people will start sending you connections, and you have to report back. Spend half an hour daily, I would say, because if you want to really make a community on LinkedIn, right, then you should definitely spend half an hour at least. And since this is something I'm talking about the first and second year, you have time, right? So you can give half an hour daily instead of going to Instagram and stuff and going through the all the reels and stuff. You should at least give half an hour on LinkedIn, because maybe you will also come across some wonderful opportunity you could have missed if you didn't uh, go on LinkedIn, right? So going on LinkedIn is not of any harm. Then you can start posting. You have to start posting regularly. Now, what I would suggest is, you can post twice or thrice a week, but sometimes it's very difficult to maintain that momentum or that consistency of posting twice or thrice per week. So, what you can do is, you can maybe take a 30-day challenge or a 1 week challenge for yourself without telling anyone that, what, I'm taking this 30-day challenge. You can take that challenge and start posting daily for those 30 days, or for that 1 week. Okay. Okay. Then I would suggest, send at least 10 to 15 connections, connection request every day to the people you want to connect to, who are very regular on LinkedIn, and always send them with a note, with a personalized note. Yeah, so you know what, I really love the posts that you write. Your posts are really insightful. I look up to you, and I would like to connect to you and you know get more insights through your project posts. Anything, whatever you feel like, you can write some personalized note for that particular person. So it makes that person happy first of all, and he will be really happy to help you later, because somewhere before even connecting to the person, you are creating a connection, right? And that is what LinkedIn is made for, networking. That is very important. uh, Talking about the type of content that you should be posting, you can be focusing upon posting some informative content. For say, if you are into coding and you are um, adopting some very, like, you are adopting some particular coding practices, so maybe you can post about that. You know what, I have adopted these particular coding practices. These are really good practices, and it has helped me to stay consistent, and something. So you can post such informative content, or you can go towards storytelling, because these type of posts are also really loved by the audience. Once in a while, you can also think of putting on memes, but it should be relatable, not just for the sake of attracting followers. Because I've seen memes definitely gather a lot of traction, but it shouldn't be irrelevant. It should be something related to your niche. So what will happen is, when you're doing this, you are increasing your online presence. And now, since you're in a first and second year, no big company is coming to you and giving you, an internship opportunity. Rarely any company comes, but otherwise no. So you need to have, or you want actually to have an experience, right? An experience in a company, to work with a company or a startup, basically. So a lot of startups are looking to hire someone, right? And give them some exposure, to hire someone as an intern, and to give them some exposure and also some stipend. So if you are on this platform, you're showing up every day, you will be noticed by someone who wants to get an intern. And within your first and second year itself, you will be getting a lot of opportunities, which will be very helpful for your resume. And it will also help you a lot in resume shortlisting when you're actually appearing for internships in for big companies, right? So that is something your LinkedIn is going to really help you. Talking about the third year, so third year students, or any like fourth year students also can follow this. So basically, you people are looking for opportunities. So what you should be doing is, you should be following those people on LinkedIn who generally post about the job updates, job opportunities, right? These people also have some Telegram groups, so you should keep an eye. Like, if a person has a Telegram group, I will join those. And what will happen is, you will be updated, you will stay updated about all the job opportunities that are out there. And you can basically apply to as and when any job opportunities comes up. Secondly, I would suggest, do meaningful comments, because even if you're not posting anything, uh, with less effort, meaning, when you do comments, right? So it takes much less effort. You still are maintaining your online presence, and it will somewhere help you in networking. That is going to help you in the long run, no matter what. Anyway, LinkedIn is going to help you, because personally, I got my intern, I came to know about all the internship opportunities through LinkedIn only. So the first company I was talking about, where I grabbed an internship, was Innovaso, and I came to know about its hiring process through LinkedIn only. Similarly, the second internship offer that I grabbed was at Goldman Sachs. Again, I came to know about it through LinkedIn only. So LinkedIn is, a gem again, and you should be active on LinkedIn every day to know about what's going on, and if there's something. Or these days, there are a lot of people willing to help students to get good, good at DSA and stuff. So maybe you can follow those people. Maybe you can attend their boot camps or something, right? So this is all I would say. At the end, I would just say that LinkedIn, mastering LinkedIn, leveraging LinkedIn, is not a rocket science. It's absolutely not. The only thing you have to take care of is first building up your profile in the right way, as I showed you. And the second thing is, you should always show up, and not just scrolling through LinkedIn, but you should also let other people know that you exist and you are always coming on this platform. So you can do that through comments or doing your posts. And that's it. That's all you need to do. And people will naturally, know that, this person is there, this person is good at this person has some experience, so maybe I should connect with this person and and ask the person if he or she wants to help me with this particular thing. You are going to get a lot of opportunities on your plate. So that's it, how to, leverage your LinkedIn. So yeah, I think I am done with how to leverage your LinkedIn. Now you can have questions, any questions you want to ask. So I shall stop presenting maybe.
Yeah, that's fine. So we are towards the end of the session, but before that, we will get some questions. So we have one question. Can we have that on screen? Yeah. So Sanket Borade is asking, for how long time should I try solving a particular question in competitive programming before seeing the solution in discussion tab? Yes,
Look,
Aishwarya.
I would say that again, it depends upon the difficulty level. If the question is of idiom, easy, like what we have in code forces to say, we have problem A, B, C, D, this kind of thing. So problem A and B are generally on the easier side. So you should have this thing in mind that I want to solve the easy question within 5 minutes or within 8 minutes, right? So if you have given yourself that, first say I want to solve an easy question within 10 minutes max, and I don't want to give more time than this, right? So what you can do is basically, uh, if 10 minute is the thing, you think about the question for 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, and you're not able to come up with anything. Try to find a hint of that question. Maybe what you can do is, I'm particularly talking here about code forces, so you can go to someone's solution, just look at the top lines of the solution, and you'll get some idea that, you know what, I think I have got something, I've got a hint. And again, start thinking about it for the next 2 3 minutes. If still you're not able to solve the question, go once again and look for some more lines of the code, right? And this time, after looking at the second hint, you should be able to solve the questions. If you're not able to solve the question, I think then you should finally go and watch the whole solution, right? So it completely depends upon um, the level of question. So at max, you should be looking at just two hints for every question. And I think for easier question, you shouldn't even look at two hints because it's an easy question after all. So you can go and look at just one hint. For medium question, go for two hints, right? And you should prepare yourself, and you should have this thing in your mind that I want to do easy question in 10 minutes, I want to do a medium question in 20 minutes, I want to do hard question in 30 minutes. And within that, if you're not able to solve the question, you're not able to come up with anything, just go and look at the final solution. That's what I would suggest. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an elaborative answer, and I think Sanket got his answer. So he's asking one more question. Can you please brief me more about virtual contests in CB? Yes, Aishwarya.
Yeah, so honestly, look, I am not a CD person, honestly, right? But I do know the features of virtual contest in competitive programming, especially in Code Forces. So Code Forces also have this virtual contest feature. So what happens? A lot of platforms have it, whether we Code Forces or Lead Code, anywhere. What happens in a virtual contest is basically, for say today, the Lead Code contest or any contest was from 8 to 9:30, and you miss that contest for some reason. So all these contests will be recorded in the virtual contest section, right? And what you can do is you can simply go to the virtual contest, you can choose any contest that you missed. All the contests will be there in in the virtual contest history, and you will be given that 3 hours of time or 1.5 hours time, whatever the contest was for, however long the contest was for. You will be given that particular time, and you will be given all those questions, right? So it's just completely similar to the contest which happened in real time. You're just giving the same contest whenever you are free and according to your convenience, time convenience. And once that's done, I think you will also get some rating and your rank compared to the other people who gave the contest in real time. So it's a wonderful feature, I would say. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. We'll move on to our next question, which is by Pragati. She's asking, I'm
Yes.
doing BTech in IT right now, but I want to switch to management consulting and I'm unable to find the right path and right guidance. Please tell me what should I do?
Okay, so let me tell you that I myself was very confused at one point because I wanted to do an MBA. and I'm very interested in non-technical things, right? So what I did at that point of time was, in which year is she, like, uh, can she tell it, or okay, whatever. I'll tell you. Basically, for consulting firms, the best or the most easy way to go is doing an MBA. Honestly, you can prepare for CAT and stuff, so you can go with that. But I think these days, through BTech also, you can get into consultant companies, and for that you need to have a good, I think, profile. Okay. So for creating your own profile, what you can do is you basically can, I think LinkedIn, as I talked about LinkedIn. So you can grow your community on LinkedIn, right? You can join some international organizations for volunteering, right? So I was in this organization known as ISEC. I don't know, most of people might have not heard about this organization, but what this particular organization, the main USP of this organization was that a lot of foreign students are also involved in this particular organization, and you get to interact with them, and that's a very good thing to mention in your profile, right? When especially you're going for some management roles. You can write on Quora. So basically what you can do is you have to do each and everything possible to um, get your profile better, and you can know more about this by maybe through some other sources, YouTube, or you can look for some blogs on Google. And yeah, I would say that. But yeah, most one thing you should remember is your whatever you do, it should definitely revolve around consulting, right? And you can go and learn about consulting. There are a lot of people who are teaching about consulting as well, and whatever you learn, maybe you can create posts on that, put it on LinkedIn. You can write those things on Quora, whatever suits you. But at the end of the day, you have to do each and everything possible for making your profile look good. So yeah, that's all I can say. But I personally don't have a very good background of preparing for the consulting firms, but that's something which I can suggest definitely.
Great. So we have our next question by Parth. Do you think LinkedIn profiles will replace resumes and CVs in future?
I personally think yes. I'll tell you why. Because, just think about it in this way. Uh, Resume or CV is just a paper where you've written everything, right? And it's just very limited to, it's just it's a very limited thing to tell about your personality. Whatever you want to show is just that. But when you go to someone's LinkedIn profile, you look at how that person reacts to someone's someone posts, how much is he active, how much social is he. If he's posting content, he's a social guy, right? If he's commenting on others profile, or on others post, he's a social guy, right? So this is something, you can basically assess a person a lot more through his LinkedIn profile than through his resumes. So whatever he or she has mentioned in the resume, that definitely is available on the LinkedIn profile for sure, right? But in addition to that, there are a lot other things and other factors present on LinkedIn profile, which will be helpful for the recruiters. So I personally feel it will be replacing, but I cannot guarantee it, of course. So yeah.
Great, great. So we have our next question by Triveni. She's asking, there is always one question while applying for internship. They ask, why do you want to do this internship? So what can be an answer for this, Aishwarya?
I would say that, look, you want an internship to get an exposure to the real world, to the corporate world, right? You are very passionate about tech. Just tell that whatever you write, your maybe paragraph or whatever you're writing, right? That should show your passion, why you want to, or your interest, your eagerness to work with the technology they are working upon. First, say you want to work with Google, right? So you know that you love their products, right? Google has made everything so easy. You should tell them why you want to work with that particular company, because you love their products, you love the way they work, right? You love their brand value, right? And you want to contribute to that. You are interested in that particular technology, and you definitely want to get an exposure to the corporate world. and you want to start your journey with their company, you can write anything in that way. But whatever you write, whatever you say, it should definitely portray your passion, your eagerness to work with the company. That's what I would say.
Yes, Prerna, can we have our next question?
Okay. Um, I would say that look, which programming language best suits for doing competitive programming is C++. Okay. And the reason for this is look, basically there are two languages, Python as well as C++. But what happens is Python is whenever you write a code in Python, it will be done within, just a few lines. So from that point of view, definitely you are going to code much faster than someone who is coding in C++. But if we talk about C++, right? So the internal working of C++ is very fast. Python is very slow as a programming language. And the C++ is very fast in general. Okay. So sometimes what happens is you have to optimize more in Python as compared to C++. So maybe the same code or same logic will be passed in C++, but that will be showing a TLE in Python, right? So you have to be very careful with Python. So most of the competitive programmers choose C++ for competitive programming.
Yeah, right. Thank you, ma'am. So we have a next question. Uh, is trial SD sheet good
Yeah,
enough to crack internships?
I would say yes, it is. It is good enough to crack the internships because, like, look, I'll tell you one thing. First of all, cracking interviews at internships, not the online assessments. So what happens is that for online assessments, they are not going to that they are not necessarily going to ask you any standard question. And if you are thinking that with just 180 questions, I am going to, crack all the processes of the internship, it's not true. Okay. So what I would suggest is if you are saying that I want to start from scratch and I just want to do 180 questions, that's not going to happen. What you can do is maybe you have to solve, at least 200, 300 questions to get a hands on the basic concepts, to build a concept. Only then you can think of going with Stiver's sheet to know about the standard questions which are being generally asked during interviews and not the online assessments. What you can do is maybe you can go to, I would say, Love Bubble sheet, right? So Love Bubble sheet has 500 questions. You can go to that. You can start from scratch. Easy, medium, hard, medium, hard questions. All of them are there. But on the top of that, I would also suggest you, or rather, I would more suggest you to go with Pep Coding's list of DSA, because pep coding is basically a coaching, an institute for teaching coding. So a huge team is involved in building the sheet of the 500 questions. So personally for me, pep coding is more reliable than love bubber. My choice, okay, my opinion. So you can also go with pep coding's 500 question sheet. Questions from everywhere like lead code, geeks for geeks, and yeah, I think mostly your hacker earth or somewhere the questions are there and they are good. So you can think of doing that, and then you're able to crack the internships. But doing just striver sheet is not good enough. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So next question is from Komal. How much development skills are sufficient for grabbing first technical internship?
Honestly, I would say I am not a very development person. So, what I personally did was I liked one technology, that was web development. So, I focused completely on web development. If you are someone who likes Android, so you can focus completely on Android. No need to go to, I will also do ML, I will also do blockchain. No need to do that. For say, if you grab this web development, start from the basics, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, start from the basics, right? Build a project on using just the basics, then go to React JS, build a project using that. So not very strong or development skill is related, honestly, because you are applying for companies for software positions, like software engineering positions. You're not going for open source. So when you're going for open source, you need to have good development skills. But what happens in the internship interview processes of these companies is they are not going to ask you about development a lot. honestly. They don't ask you about it. They ask you coding questions, right? But then it's not like you don't have any development background. What you can do is you can choose any one of them, start making projects, have a decent knowledge of whatever technology you're using, right? It's completely fine if you are, for say, I know till React.js. I don't know full stack a lot. But whatever I know of React.js, I know it, completely. I know it in depth. So you should have a decent knowledge and a decent level of development, but no need to go on, no need to completely go into no need to go completely into development, I would say. No need to do that. Focus on your DSA more. That's, I would say.
Awesome. I think this is an incredible session because we are having a great response from our audience. So, moving on to our next question by Purnima.
Yeah.
Aishwarya, tell us what's better, like having 5 to 6 medium sized projects or having
Mhm.
few large sized projects for getting the first internship.
Yeah. Look, I would say that um, completely depends on you. So I'll tell you one story. I have this senior. So she did. I saw her resume. It was on LinkedIn, so I just go and stalked her, and I saw her, resume. There were a lot of projects, like lot of 7, 8 projects. So she herself said that the interviewer. I then saw her interview experience somewhere. So she's right now working at VMware, and she herself said that the interviewer asked me, "Why have you done so many projects?" Right. So the thing is, at the end of the day, in your resume, don't mention more than 3 projects, right? Even if it is medium sized, you can mention those 3 projects, just 3 projects. No need to do that. Getting my point. So, what I'm trying to say is do 3 projects just, and include both medium and large size. That is the best combination, I would suggest, right? Because anyway, you cannot mention a lot of projects in your resume, and it's going to be a danger for you because the less the projects are, the less questions you can expect, and the better you can be with the knowledge of only those particular projects, right? And the more projects you have to learn about all those projects. You need to have the in-depth knowledge of all the projects. So you don't that's another hassle to add on. So you don't want to add that hassle in your life, and you just want to make it easy, right? So just don't complicate it. Have 3 projects, a mixture of medium and large. That's it.
It's like in the end, it's quality over quantity.
Exactly, exactly. That's very
So,
important.
yes. Moving on to our next question by Ketan. Which language is more preferable for DSA? This is an amazing question, actually.
Honestly, as I said, the same language which is preferable for CP, uh, C++. Okay, but um, look, I personally have done DSA using C++, but sometimes I feel that it also would have been better if I went with Java. Okay, so why I'm saying so is because most of the companies, right, Java is a wonderful language. A lot of lines of code, definitely you have to learn lot of long keywords and everything. But Java, if you know Java, I think a lot of companies actually internally use Java, especially the fintech world. So I know, like, Goldman Sachs uses Java a lot, right? So a lot of companies use Java a lot, and their interviewers know Java very well. So if you are coding in Java, that is definitely one of the you have, I wouldn't say an edge, but it's a good thing to do. Java is a good language to learn. Okay, at the first place, but a lot of students are going with C++. So C++ is also not a problem. Now, what I would suggest at the end is you can go with C++, you can go with Java, whatever suits you, whatever you like to. So now that decision completely depends upon you. That's, I would say.
Awesome. Moving on to our next question by Rahul. He's asking, as of now, I'm having basic knowledge of data structures and basics of Python and C++. So for CP, which steps should I follow?
Okay. Basic knowledge of data structures and basic of Python and C++.
Python and
So
C++.
which, look, as I said, for competitive programming, in regards to language, go with C++. Okay, obviously. But If you have basic knowledge of data structures, you can start competitive programming. You can still start competitive programming. That's not a problem, I think. And but I would suggest side by side you should also be following a lead code, because I don't know if I've said this earlier in the presentation or not, but one thing you should know is that even if you are a pro at competitive programming, right, you are very good at competitive programming, but before the interviews you will have to anyway come to lead code to go through the interview questions, especially because the questions which are asked in interviews and the competitive programming questions are different, are a bit different, right? So you will have to anyway come back to lead code, so you should be doing lead code simultaneously. That's what I would suggest. So keep attending contest for the code forces or code shift, keep attending the contest, right? Keep practicing, but at the same time also keep doing lead code. Okay, now how you're going to manage it, for say you have targeted to 5 questions a day. One day you can do 2 questions of code chef and 3 questions of lead code. The other day you can do 3 questions of code chef, 2 questions of lead code, whatever. That is complete, that completely depends upon you, your routine, right? But don't leave lead code, okay? Because anyway you have to come to lead code, you have to come back to lead code. So yeah, that's what I would suggest.
Yes. Coming up next, Ketan wants to know your opinions about Fang. It should be
Honestly,
Mang,
just
right?
yeah, that lies in Microsoft. So I would say it's not exactly. Some people say it's overhyped. I won't say it's overhyped, but the thing is, it's very limited. You know, Fang just consists of Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google, Microsoft. It just consists of that. There are a lot other good companies which should be included in this list. I would just say that these companies are definitely good. They pay well. They take care of the employees. They You get a lot of benefits, exposure, and your resume looks the best out of all, right? So, but it's just very limited list. Okay, there should be more companies which should be added to this specific particular list. That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So next question is, how you have managed academic and programming part together? Because
I
while
would say
doing studies as well.
I would say that just a second, no, just a second. I'll just get my charger. Just a second.
Yeah, sure, sure, no problem. Meanwhile, other people can add their questions and comments. So we'll take all questions from that on.
Okay. So, talking about, academics and all, so I would say I'm not that good at academics. I didn't take care a lot of academics. But I think the work from home, or rather the exams, the online exams were a boon for everyone. So that kept me alive, honestly. But you know what I would suggest, or if I was able to go back in the past and could revert one thing, was that uh, always keeping up with the classes. Okay, so what you can do is you should be attending the classes anyway. Okay, just do that. No need to come and revise everything. If you mindfully attend the classes, that is going to be enough. So I never attended the classes mindfully, so that is my, definitely that's the problem. But if you are attending the classes mindfully, whatever is the teacher is saying, you're just noting everything down, and you just, in the class at the moment, your mind is not getting distracted. That's all you need. And then you can practice the coding the other time. Exams, when the exam dates are allowed, just before a week or 2 weeks, you can start revising everything. Right. So I think that's how you can manage everything. That's no rocket science, honestly. This is the only way you can do it.
Also, Aishwarya, how can our students reach you? Like, how can they contact you? What is that point of contact?
Yeah. So I actually showed you in the beginning. You can definitely connect with me through LinkedIn or Twitter. So LinkedIn, yeah, mostly people come and DM me in LinkedIn, on LinkedIn. So my name is Aishwarya Mahapatra. So you can find me on LinkedIn there. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. We'll take two more questions. So, Vanshika Singhal is asking, Heidi, please tell us about How can we build command on any programming language?
Look, programming language, what happened to me was, look, there are two things. What people generally do is either they study for, say, I want to learn C++. So what will I do is I'll go and look at some playlist, some 90 videos are there in it, or some playlist 5 or 6 are long. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll choose any of the videos, either the playlist or the long video. I'll first watch the complete video, know about the whole, all the concepts and everything, and then I'll start coding. That's the worst way of learning, the programming language. No, just, the once you know just the basics of how I should write this function, and how I should write this thing, that's enough. Basically, if you are able to write just the basic code, if you know just that of any programming language, you should directly jump into doing the questions. Okay. And while doing the questions, right, you will face some problems. Definitely, oh, I don't know how to implement this, what to do. So then you can go to Google. You can look for, is there any inbuilt function uh, which I can use to implement it directly, because I have to write the whole code for this implementation. And then if there is, for say, if there is any function to get the substring of this string. So is there anything in C++ is in inbuilt function? So you'll go and Google it. It'll tell you, yes, there is. Then you will apply it. Or similarly, later on, you will go and check the solutions of others, and you'll see, okay, he has done something different. This is a different function that I don't know. Go and Google about it. This is how you will come to learn the programming language. You'll build a command. This is exactly how I build a command on C++, honestly. So yeah.
Awesome. Also, Aishwarya, can you tell us something about Goldman Sachs scholarship? A student reached out to me asking this question.
Honestly,
If
honestly,
you
I
know
don't know.
anything.
No, I don't know. I know that Goldman Sachs has this scholarship, and it is for girls. I think it's just for girls, but I don't know about the whole process. So I'm not the right person to ask this, honestly. I'll try to
Okay.
find about it, but no,
Mhm.
I right now I have no idea. Yeah. I know about
Okay,
the
so we
Deesh.
have.
There's this. I'll give you a brief about the DESIS Ascent program. This
Sure.
DESIS Ascent Edicure program. Yeah. So this is again for the second and third year. There are two cohorts. First is for the second year students, and then the third year students, and specifically for girls, to empower the girls, right? Girls in tech. And in this, all they will be doing is you will be getting a stipend of 50,000. That's the most important. So everyone wants to know about it. That's why I said it in the beginning, and a lot of goodies, of course. 6-month mentorship program, and you will be divided into groups. You will be given projects, right? And you will be also taught DSA, Java, everything by the mentors themselves. So it's a wonderful, wonderful mentorship program, and everyone should consider to apply to DESIS SN Educate program. Yeah. So yeah.
We have a question by Damini. How to be master in web dev or any particular stream?
Look, I would just say one thing: practice makes a person perfect, right? So all you can do is just practice. Yeah, you are going to, but don't jump to the advanced thing directly. Don't do that. As I said, if you're starting with web development, so initial thing is obviously HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Learn that, directly go and build a project. Okay, you can take the reference of any YouTube videos. There are a lot of YouTube videos, and that's exactly what I did. Saw a lot of YouTube videos, started doing what they did, and learned a lot through that process. So I learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Now I should be upping my game, and for that I'll go to React JS. So you can go with React JS or any other front end technology you want to work with. And then there was this Netflix clone, which is completely built based on React JS, right? So you can go build that project, learn through that. Once you're good, you think you're good with React JS, next you can go to the full stack development, learn about it, build a project. This is the only way to master any technology, right? So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So I
one
think
thing.
this was an incredible session.
Yeah, one thing I
And
would like to say at the end. I'm sorry to interrupt, Pranjal, but one thing you can. It was really fun interacting with you. I hope I was able to clear doubts and give you insights of how my journey was, how I prepared things. You can definitely connect to me on LinkedIn, and ask your doubts. And you can also follow my YouTube channel. So I am building or making videos. I'm trying to make good videos, every week. So go and subscribe to my channel. And the kind of things I'm telling you here, I will be telling more about it in my channel. So yeah, that's I just wanted to
I
tell
saw
that.
I saw some of your videos. They are really awesome, and I subscribed.
Yeah.
So
Thanks
guys,
a
go
lot.
and subscribe to her channel and
Yeah.
also connect with her on LinkedIn so you can ask your doubts in there. So yeah, we are towards the end of
Uh, yeah.
and the way you answered all those questions and gave strategies and tips to our students means a lot to us. So yes, Prerna.
So it was really a very good session, and I would really like to thank you, Aishwarya, because from initial stages, like how we can prepare for the CP, up to the end, like how we can leverage our LinkedIn profile. You gave us very good insights, and I think everyone will got a good things and inspired by your speech. So thank you so much, really. And also I really like to thanks to my team, GDSC team, because any event is impossible without any team. So thanks to all my team members and other collaboratives also. And I would also like to thank our college professors who gave us this chance to organize all these things. And yeah, of course, thank you to all viewers also. Thank you.
So yes, Karthik, you can find her on LinkedIn. Just type in Aishwarya Mahapatra. Okay. So yes, we will see you in the next one. And till then, goodbye.
Yeah,
Thank you so much,
goodbye.
Aishwarya, for joining. Thank you, all the collaborators. Thank you so much.